The brain is separated into 4 different lobes. When one or more areas of the brain is damaged, it causes challenges in our lives that we cannot control. Demi Lovato, a famous singer and someone that struggles with mental health, once said, "I wish people could understand that the brain is the most important organ of our body. Just because you can't see mental illness like you can see a broken bone, doesn't mean it's not as detrimental or devastating to a family or an individual. How can we judge mental health of others when we don't even know what stage we are personally at?" Mental health is a large concept that many people in our world struggle to understand. We just need to learn to be open and accepting and not judging those that are struggling with one. Today I'm going to explain the stigma of mental health, our views and actions that we have on one, and how changes could benefit our society for the better. Everyone has something that makes them unique, but unfortunately when that seems to be a mental illness, they are treated and targeted in a more negative way. According to the Mayo Clinic, a stigma is when someone views you in a negative way because you have a distinguishing characteristic or personal trait that's thought to be or actually is a disadvantage. So many illnesses are seen throughout our society, from autism, depression, schizophrenia, and anxiety, and so many more. Judging one person that has that illness means that you are judging every single person in the world that has that, whether you know it or not. Mental health is seen as evidence in many accidents and events that are tragically happening throughout our world. A prime example would be mass shootings. In 2018, the US had 307 mass shootings. That is so many issues that are going through the world, and obviously people are going to blame someone that has a mental illness because they're not in their right mind. But why blame the person instead of weapons that they are using? From the Hastings Center report, the way to prevent future mass shootings, these policymakers suggest, is not to ban the sale and ownership of semi-automatic weapons or require universal background checks of all gun owners. Instead, the solution is to before already existing laws that are designed to keep firearms away from individuals with certain types or degrees of mental illnesses. How are we to determine who has a mental illness and who doesn't? What kind of tests are they going to do in order to figure out who has it and who doesn't? The only question that we have to ask is who doesn't have one. Everyone has it. Everyone has their own mental illness, their own struggles that they are going through, but we're just in different stages, whether we see it or not. We are taught to treat others how we want to be treated, yet that is the most challenging concept to put into actions. Patrick Corrigan, a mental illness advocate, once said that stigma yields 2 kinds of harm that may impede treatment participation. It diminishes self-esteem and robs people of social opportunities. When we judge someone on how they were born or what stages of life they're going through or the challenges that they have gone through, it is the most misdemeaning thing that you could do to someone. You do not know what their relationship is like, what their home life is like, their work. We cannot judge someone on what we do not know. We see people every day. They could be an average person or one that has a mental health deep inside or one that they may not even know about. But the ones that bring attention to themselves by their words or actions are the ones that we seem to judge the most. An example would be an autistic child running and screaming. We don't blame the parents for not being good parents, but we blame the disease for having to cause the child doing that. We judge people on what we see and not what we know. We have no reason to give them that kind of attitude, that kind of words and actions towards them. Because many times when we hear of crimes, of murder, of rape, of any other things, sometimes we don't even blame it. We blame, oh, she was wearing this. They went into the bad area, bad place at the wrong time at the wrong place. Yet we always blame the mental illness on that person. What gives us the right to judge someone else when we ourselves are not even perfect? If we can learn to accept everyone, no matter what they come from, who they are, what they look like, or what they're struggling with, the world will start to become a better place. The Funk and Wagnall's New World Encyclopedia stated, Public awareness of the need for greater governmental attention to mental health services led to the passage of the National Mental Health Act of 1946. This allowed for more mental health institutions to be opened up and for it to be part of the mental health care. It allowed for people to go in to get the treatment that they needed without having to worry about being judged. This is an example of what happens when we can all come together in unity. Big things happen when people come together. When people are finally feeling like they are not being judged, they feel as that they can go get the treatment that they need because they are being supported and not torn down or judged. They will become more confident and involved with their life. The Biomed Central Public Health said, "Social inclusion is a human right for all, including people with mental illness. It is also an important part of recovery from mental illness. Everyone is at a different stage in their mental health. We have to respect that and learn to understand that each person is going through their own struggles just like we are. We have no right to tear them down, to act as if they have the biggest problem in the world, because we don't know what they're going through. We do not have the right to act as if they're a misdemeanor. We have to learn to accept and not judge." Today I told you about the stigma of mental health, the views and actions that we have, and the benefits that could come if we learn to change and respect. Mental illness is a large concept that many struggle to understand, but today you learned what can happen when change is done, so I hope that is something that changes your idea. Since we don't know the inside of someone, what is going on or how they are feeling, a smile on the outside can go a long way.